Hey guys, YouTube 100 here. Alright, now here I am continuing on with my Muppet movie reviews, and now here I am with a review for The Great Muppet Caper. So, so this movie was released in 1981, and this was actually the only Muppet movie that Jim Henson actually directed. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that Jim Henson created the Muppets, and yet this was really the only film of the Muppets that he directed. So yeah, but overall, this is once again a pretty good movie right here. I mean, yeah, it really does once again, just like the first Muppet film, it really is just like really filled with like the Muppet style humor, and yeah, and there's also actually Now this also actually does like kind of like have more like it does like actually seem more like an actual film rather than just like something like the original Muppet movie was, where it was just like pretty much just telling a story of like how they all like originally did come together. And so so this really does like seem to actually seem like more of a film, because this film actually does have like an actual premise to it, and it's not just like telling like the origin story of the Muppets, as I said before. Yeah. So in this movie, like the premise of this film is that the Muppets like end up like getting a kind of a report about a jewel robbery, and so then they just end up traveling to London to investigate the jewel heist and try to stop it. Yeah, and that's really like what it's about. It's really like really set around Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo, and they're really the main Muppets in this film that really are on this investigation. Yeah, but throughout the film, like there are like the other Muppets like end up like appearing in this film as well. Like in this film, like a lot of the other Muppets are actually staying at the hotel that Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo are staying at in this film. So yeah, the rest of the Muppets, like Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, Scooter, the Swedish Chef, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, Beaker, New Zealand, Ralph the Dog, Sam the Eagle, Pops, Beauregard, Crazy Harry, Camila the Chicken, as well as Rizzo the Rat, and what I think is his actually his first appearance in any like thing Muppet related. And so and of course also Miss Piggy ends up is like in this film also, and this is pretty much like how Kermit and Miss Piggy's connection is in this film as it was in the first Muppet film. It's just Kermit ends up like coming across Miss Piggy, and then Miss Piggy just ends up having like an immediate attraction to Kermit, and they just end up like going on a date, and they just like end up like forming a romantic connection with each other once again. So this film doesn't really like really act as a sequel to the first Muppet film. I mean, like for like the original run of the Muppet movies, like I don't really think that any of them are actually like official sequels to any of the previous Muppet films. They're just like kind of standalone films. It's kind of like the Winnie the Pooh movies. How none of those films really are like actual like straight sequels to any of the previous Winnie the Pooh movies, and that's kind of the case with the Muppet films as well. How despite the fact that there are like several Muppet movies that have been released over the years, none of them really do act as like straight sequels to any of the previous films. So this isn't really like a straightforward sequel to the Muppet film. It's kind of just like a whole another Muppet film that really is like a whole totally different story from the original film. And this film also was actually released like very shortly after like the when the Muppet Show had actually ended. So I guess like this was like since the Muppet Show had ended, like they decided to just like continue on with the you know Muppet franchise through the films. It's kind of similar to Star Trek, how like the movies actually ended up taking place after the show. So yeah, that's kind of like the case here too. So yeah, yeah, and so yeah, and that's basically and yeah. So I pretty much like did go over like the premise of this film, how just like Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo are just like travel to London to try to stop this jewel heist from taking place, and yeah, the other Muppets like just end up like making appearances in the film throughout. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, of course, like just like in the original Muppet film, there are like just like several cameos from various celebrities in the film. Like you have cameos from celebrities such as John Cleese, Joan Sanderson, Jack Warden, Peter Falk, Robert Morley, Jim Henson, and Frank Oz actually make cameos in this film, as well as like Richard Hunt, Jerry Nelson, and some other celebrities as well. So yeah, it does like kind of like continue on with like what the first film did, and I just have like a bunch of like different celebrity cameos in the film, and yeah, and just like in the first Muppet film, how there was like a cameo by Big Bird in it. In this film, Oscar the Grouch ends up like making a cameo in the film. Yeah, it's like somewhere towards like the last 30 minutes or so of the film when Miss Piggy ends up stealing a truck. Yeah, she like just lays out the driver, and yeah, the driver just ends up like onto the ground, and he's just right next to a trash can that Oscar the Grouch emerges from. So yeah, so just like in the Muppet film, like this film also has a cameo from another Jim Henson character from Sesame Street. So yeah, interesting cameos like that. It's interesting how Jim Henson is really like doing this to like feature like his other characters that aren't like full on Muppets in the Muppet movies. So yeah. Yeah, and like I said, just this film really does like have all just like a lot of the Muppet style humor. Of course, like with some fourth wall jokes, they do acknowledge that it's a movie and stuff like that. So yeah, and some other funny jokes of like them being thrown out of planes and just like yeah, a bunch of other like Muppet style humor. So yeah, so overall, I do think that this is a pretty good film overall. Well, I don't know if I can actually say this is better than the original Muppet movie, but yeah, regardless of which one is better, this is still once again a pretty good film, and I think it is like worth a watch for Muppet fans. So yeah, so I would give this film, I guess, probably like 3.5 stars out of 4. I mean, yeah, I think it is definitely worth a watch, just like the original Muppet movie. Like, if you're a fan of the Muppets, I think you would enjoy this film. So yeah, all right, so yeah, this is so I'm already like 8 minutes into this film, so I guess I'll just like talk about the premise of the movie. So yeah, as the movie opens up, it just shows how Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo in this film are like investigative reporters for a newspaper called the Daily Chronicle, and then yeah, then throughout this film, like Kermit and Fozzie are just like passing themselves off as identical twin reporters, which is like a gag throughout this film. Like people like act like they can't tell them apart, or even though like they have completely different appearances. So yeah, I guess it's just like I was saying, like Muppet style humor. Yeah, and then their boss, who's played by Jack Warden, Warden, sorry, ends up like coming down on them because they failed to report a major jewel robbery, and so then they ask him if they can travel to London to investigate the robbery and interview the victim, who was a prominent fashion designer, Lady Holiday. Yeah, and throughout the film, also Statler and Waldorf end up like appearing throughout the film to hackle them in the audience as well. So yeah, and then as they flew to uh, London, and they like are traveling just on $12, so they like end up like traveling through like baggage, and then when the plane like ended up passing over Britain, they just ended up literally being thrown out of the plane. Yeah, and then they stay at the dilapidated Happiness Hotel. And as I said, this hotel is like just populated by other various Muppet characters that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, as Kermit then like went to seek out Lady Holiday in her office, then like it showed that Lady Holiday ended up like hiring Miss Piggy as her new receptionist, and as Lady Holiday ended up like taking off for like a meeting or something, Miss Piggy like remained in the office, and then yeah, when Kermit arrived in the office, he just saw Miss Piggy and then mistook her for Lady Holiday, and with Miss Piggy now like, was posing as Lady Holiday to, of course, to impress Kermit, and since, of course, she was in love with him, yeah, she then like asked Kermit out on a dinner date. And then she even like was telling Kermit that she was living at a highbrow address as to just keep up with this pose. Yeah, yeah. And then they ended up like going to dinner that night in a nightclub, and at that nightclub, then there was like another robbery committed by Lady Holiday's brother Nicky, as well as his his accomplices, who are actually three of Lady Holiday's put upon fashion models. Well, yeah, and then they ended up like stealing her necklace, and then yeah, then after the robbery was committed, then yeah, Miss Piggy's charade was revealed, and then she ended up fleeing, and then just left Kermit alone. Well, and then yeah, just like in the original movie, like Kermit, of course, was just like very devastated that Miss Piggy just left him. But then eventually, then Miss Piggy then like found Kermit in a park, and yeah, she apologized for what she did, and yeah, they reconciled, and then yeah, it's shown that Nikki apparently has like a very strong attraction to Miss Piggy, and yeah, then like Nicky and his accomplices ended up like framing Miss Piggy for the necklace theft, and then yeah, Miss Piggy ended up like being arrested and put in jail. Yeah, and then yeah, it was also revealed that Nicky and his accomplices also had plans to steal like another valuable prize, which is known as the famous baseball diamond, which is actually Lady Holiday's like biggest and most valuable jewel that's on display at uh, this museum or something, the Mallory Gallery. Yeah, and after Gonzo overheard it, then uh, Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo, as well as like all the other Muppets inside the Happiness Hotel, then decided to then intercept the robbery and to quit Miss Piggy. And but yeah, it then showed that Miss Piggy then was able to escape from jail. And then yeah, as I said, she like ended up hijacking a truck, and she threw the driver out. And as I said, uh, driver then just like fell right next to a trash can that Oscar the Grouch was in, and Oscar the Grouch then like even just said he was there for a cameo. Yeah, and then yeah, Kermit and the gang then like ended up like sneaking into the gallery, and they were able to get to the diamond at the same time the thieves were, and then as they were like trying to keep the diamonds away from the thieves, Nicky eventually was able to catch the diamond, and then he took Kermit hostage. But then Miss Piggy then arrived, and yeah, she then laid out Nicky and his accomplices. And then yeah, then the police then eventually arrived, and then they arrested Nicky and the gang, and then yeah, then they dropped all the charges on Miss Piggy, and then yeah, then like it then showed in the paper that the Muppets were credited for like stopping the robbery. Yeah, and then yeah, then it just ended with like the Muppets ended up flying back home the same way that they flew to London. Yeah, they were all just thrown out of the cargo hold, and then yeah, but this time they actually had parachutes, and then they were just parachuting down to the ground as the credits rolled. Yeah, and then like towards the end of the credits, then Gonzo then decided to break the fourth wall. He was just like just telling the audience not to go anywhere, and then he took the audience picture, and then after like the camera flashed, then it just cut to black, and then Gonzo just said, "I'll send you all a copy," and then yeah, then the movie then fully ended. So yeah, so yeah, like I said, it is a pretty good movie. It does have like a lot of like the Muppet style humor to it, and yeah, as I said, it does like actually have more of like a film feel to it rather than just it being like the story of like the Muppet origins, as I said before. So yeah, so it does like seem more like a film with since like they actually do give it a premise, and yeah, it does have some funny jokes with like Kermit and Fozzie like trying to like pass themselves off as twins, and yeah, with the fourth wall jokes, and yeah, the cameo by Oscar the Grouch, and yeah, just yeah, all the other stuff that you have like come to know from the Muppet films. So yeah. So overall, I really just can't really see like what why no you people shouldn't watch this. Like if you are a Muppet fan, as I said, and you could probably get enjoyment of the film, especially like if you do want to see like a full on film with an actual like premise and story to it rather than just it being just something very simple like the original Muppet film was. So oh yeah. So overall, I mean, just I really don't see why I wouldn't recommend this film. Like, if you're a Muppet fan, it's worth a watch. And even like if you aren't Muppet fans, I still would say that I would recommend this. I think you would get some enjoyment out of this. So yeah, a recommended film, and it is a good film. So yeah, what else can I really say about it? So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. So yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, so I guess that's for my review of the Great Muppet Caper. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and stay tuned for more Muppet reviews coming your way. So yeah, so stay tuned for more. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.